Hello and welcome to listen this webinar. This is the first webinar what we product in our project, and the topic of this first webinar is the basic and criteria of green care. We will tell you what is green care, especially in Finland, and what are the health effects of nature.
Okay, hello everybody, welcome for my opinion also. And those who are in online now, you can ask what do you want, or if you have any questions via chat line. There's Matti who is telling us if there's something you want to ask. And the webinar will be saved. You can also watch this from our future internet site or social media Facebook site. So welcome all of you.
At first, I think that we need to tell something about ourselves and also our background. I am Leena Välimaa and I am senior lecturer in Lapland University of Applied Sciences. I have born and lived my childhood and youth in countryside. So it was big part. Nature has been big part of my life since childhood. I am psychiatric nurse and master of education. Before I have worked people who have psychiatric problem and mental health problem. And after that, I have been senior lecturer in our university, and my competence is mental health and psychiatric nursing. And I am also a supervisor, and my clients comes from social and healthcare sector and also educational sector. And I am an animal assistant coach, and I do volunteer work with my dog in elderly people houses. And I have worked at this kind of green care project about 4 last years.
Thank you, Leena. My name is Sanna Vinblad and I'm also working here in Lapland University of Applied Science. My work is basically project works. I'm working in these green care projects and also dog and horse project and circular economy projects. My background is I'm an agrologist and I have an economical background also. So my point of view in the green care is basically animal and nature welfare, and also I like entrepreneurs and business. I like to watch things for that point of view. And I have been working with the green care, I think it's almost 10 years now. I have started about 2010 with this kind of green care project, and I have been developed also green care in the basic levels, but also I have been doing studies for green care and develop those with other applied sciences and universities in Finland here. And now we are doing this project Nordic NaBS, which Leena is going to tell few things a bit later. But Leena mentioned that she has a dog, and I also have a dog. I have 3 reindeer herders. I don't have my own farm, but I'm herding sheep and reindeers, many others farms, and like to do that also. But that's, I think our skills comprehensive and support each other, so maybe we are good with other.
Yes, yes, I think so. Okay.
Should we start?
Yes, I think that we can first tell something little about our project. New Nordic nature-based service models project. This is Nordic project, and next I will tell you a little about this project. First, the objectives is the developing business and service models on the welfare effect of another nature and suitable for cultural conditions. We have this kind of entrepreneurs in Nordic countries, but we haven't yet clear model or process this kind of services. And we need to do more work to strengthen cooperation between entrepreneurs and actors. Social and healthcare and educational actors needs also to know what kind of services entrepreneurs can product and offer, and vice versa. Entrepreneurs need to know what kind of services their clients needs. And the actions. First, the report of the current situation of green care in each country, in Finland, Sweden and Norway. We need to cooperation, and action is joint development workshop, local and international workshop, and webinars and discussion group in Facebook. And also one actions is piloting of service models, and we piloting a few in each area in each country. We have done, that the report of the current situation of green care in each country. We have done part of interview and electronic inquiry in social, healthcare and educational actors in each country, but the rest of is still under making. And to whom and with who we are working in this project. This project has started the beginning of this year, and it is till end of the 2021. So it is three years time to operate this project. And the target group is the national research entrepreneurs and social health and educational professionals and clients also. And partners, our university, Lapland University of Applied Sciences, is the project management. We have the responsibility to this. And the other partners are University of Vaasa, Levon Institute there, and Oulu University of Applied Sciences, and from Sweden, Luleå University of Technology. And funding comes from Interreg Nord and Regional Council of Lapland, and from Sweden, Region Norrbotten. And then you can see our timetable of this project. So the first in this year we start that statement of the green care situation in each country, and we can get the first results in this autumn of this situation. And the workshop has also started, and they are going the whole operating time in this project. And webinars and benchmarking discussion start now. This is the first webinar, what I just say in the beginning of this webinar, and they also continue all this project time. And the first benchmarking discussion also started a little bit later in September, October. And the pilots, the first pilots, we will start next year in the spring, winter and springtime. And international workshops, we will have 3 international workshops in our project, and the first is coming in the beginning of October in this year, and it is in Norway, Mo i Rana. And all of you are welcome to there to listen and meet green care actors and entrepreneurs from these Nordic countries. So you are very welcome to there in
Yes.
October.
We have still places, free places, so please come and join us. We would have very nice webinar in there, workshop in Norway. Please come and join us.
Yeah, and the others are the next year, and in Finland and in Sweden. So we have three international workshop in our project. So that is what we do in our project, and I think that then we can hear what is the green care.
Yes, and if you have any questions, anytime you can ask, please chat and we will answer you. But then, what's the green care? I think we are going to tell you about basics of green care. What does it mean, and how does you can separate it in the normal nature well-being action. But let's begin. I hope all of you have heard what's green care, and maybe you know it's involving it in nature well-being effects, and we don't mention it, we don't now mention it, it's also known as fertilizing and soil products title. I hope you haven't come here and listened to fertilizer or soil products now. But basically, green care is a nature-based activity, and you can do it also in the countryside. And you have to remember that activities promote human well-being and quality of life. Soini and all have write it down in the 2011, and that's what we are lean on nowadays also. And very basic things is well-being effects that are creating by using nature-based approaching. And basically it's the same thing if you need to say it's nature is the element that maintains and promotes people's well-being. Quite of same things, but different kind of action. But we have to remember the environment is not only just context. It's something you can do. You can be in the nature, or you can be interactive with the nature. We all are part of the nature, so that promotes our well-being, and you can do green care in nature environment, or you can move the nature inside or cities or stuff like that. But key is the guided nature experience, so you have professional guide with you or with your clients that makes the added value from your achieving client's goal, as well as the personalized support providing professional. So you have to remember green care is a well-being service what provides and promote human well-being. It's a basic nature-basic doing, and you have to be guided professional expertise what you are doing. And this ain't fertilizing or soil system title, but we have the same name that they have. The title is quite basic, known here in Finland, and maybe in some of European countries also knows and use green care title. But in the Sweden and Norway, and maybe in USA and Holland, they have a different name, but the same kind of action what they do. And then a little bit more about how it's in the other countries. I mentioned that it's not the same name in what we use here, green care, but maybe you have heard Grönomsorg, Gröna Arena, Gröna Rehabilitet. It's a Sweden title from the same kind of action or services like our green care. They have several target groups like we do here in Finland, our green care. And Norway also, they have their own kind of title. It's called Tunet, and it's a national and provincial supported. National support is quite well in Norway from their Tunet work. They have a garden basically there which are doing this Tunet work, and we in Finland have a quite various actions where it's involved with this green care, not only in farms. We have also in tourism and schools and stuff like that where you can do green care. In Holland, UK, Italy and other European countries, I said they have also different kind of name of the green care, what they use. And they call it farming for health, social farming, care farming. For example, they have many more, but that's few of those what we are saying. And they have also multiple groups and clients, target groups, but also many organizations who is doing this type of nature well-being services. And it's quite established operation in their countries. So we are coming here also back, maybe someday it's established in Finland also. In 2010 in Finland there were based Green Care Finland Association, and it was it's now in quite of, how do I say, umbrella for all our organizations who is doing green care and development green care activities. And also we have few basics regional association in the Finland for the green care, such as one in Lapland and one in Eastern Finland also. And then this was quite basic what green care is. It's nature well-being, work, action and services, but it's based on welfare impacts. And Leena is quite expertise of that, and I think Leena is going to tell a lot of things what welfare impacts what nature is providing us.
Okay, I try to tell something about that. Sanna said that if you have some questions to us, you can write them in the Facebook, and we can answer. So next I will tell you something about welfare impacts. I think that we already have a lot of evidence-based research and information of health effects of nature, and I think that also each of us have own experience of these things also. But now I will tell something evidence-based research of health effects of nature. And the first, there are increased experimental well-being, calming down. I think in nature there are only nature sounds, no traffic voice, no noise, no human voices, only nature sounds, winds, birds, water sounds, and etc. The amount of stimulus is less in nature, so it is easier to settle down than inside or in the urban area. And the concentration and mood improvement. In Finnish study, Tyrväinen showed that mood, concentration and health improves when you are moving in nature 2 or 3 times in month outside of cities. And same effect when you spend time at least 5 hours in month at urban area. And one of the most extensive study in United Kingdom investigated group nature walk. Group walk in nature improved mood. That study lasted 13 weeks. People walked in nature in small groups, and results showed that depression and stress were reduced, and they have less negative emotions like sad, anger, feeling of grey, and their general feelings of well-being was better. And how about recovery? There are two theories of recovery of nature. The first is it can be a recovery from stressful situation. I mean that when you react in situations that threaten well-being functionally, physically, and psychically. And the second, it can be reduction in mental exhaustion. Invigorating nature environment offer aesthetical pleasure and feeling of calm. And increasing activity and inclusion. Experiencing inclusion with nature is possible with animals and also plants caring, but also being part of nature tours and events in different seasons, which are happening in nature all the time. And nature offer a place to be together with family, friends, and various hobby groups, which are specialized outdoor activities. It is easier to socialize in nature also. In addition to the surrounding area enabled to meet other people, it also increased the social ties and community, says Sullivan, 2004, in his study. And also it seems that proximity to parks increased physical activity of public health importance. Exercise lowers blood pressure, improves self-esteem, but in the nature environment, this health impact will be strengthened. And then, how about clinically measurable effect? One study example, just looking at the forest landscape from the window decreased blood pressure in 10 minutes instead of the room without window, blood pressure increased. Extensive experimental research has shown that forest environment is beneficial, lower blood pressure and pulse and cortisol, increased parasympathetic nervous system activity and lower sympathetic nervous system activity than in the urban area or environment. I mean that parasympathetic nervous system activity when you are relaxed, and sympathetic nervous system increased in stressful situation. According Ward Thompson et al. Study, the purpose of study was to test whether the amount of greenery in a residential area affect stress. He measured saliva cortisol levels as well as subjective stress and general well-being using questionnaires. The results showed significant relationship with perceived stress, daily cortisol levels, and residential green space quantity. And I think that this is very, very significant. And the higher the percentage of green area was, the greater was the decrease in cortisol. Also, the perceived stress level decreased when the amount of greenery increased. And one study of Japan has showed that essential oils of trees increased activity of killer cells. Killer cells have an important role of the defender against tumor cells, bacteria, and viruses. So it means that when you are spending time in nature and in forest, the essential oils of trees are very healthy, and the effect is better than how long you stay or spend time in forest. It will be the better if you spend more time there. And then the effect of natural products. We know we have more and more evidence-based research of natural products, berries, resin, and herbs. Example, cloudberry, which is a berry what we can pick in our area in Lapland. It is very good berry, and it's we have that kind of evidence-based research that it prevents cancer tumors, example, and especially colon cancer. And 1 deciliter is enough for daily C vitamin. It is better than orange, more better than orange, example, cloudberry. And blueberry, I think that blueberry is the berry about which we have the most evidence-based research than any other berries. Blueberry, there are many healthy effects. It is good for teeth and prevent osteoporosis, and also prevent diabetes and decreased risk of dementia, because it has effect to your cognitive skills. And prevent also urinary tract infections, and it include much E vitamin, so it also prevent problem in your eyes. It is good to eat also for that. And it slows down cell damage, so in like my age it's good prevent to aging also.
I think Finns eat quite much a blueberry.
Yes, we have, yeah, and it is easy to pick. But I think that this summer we haven't not so much in Lapland.
No.
And also one more, it's good also for heart health. And I think that there are also some others, but it is the main health effects from blueberry. And resin. The resin power, efficacy to wound healing, and because it is very cheap and safe also and effective. And resin stick used in hospital to pressure ulcers and inflamed wounds also. And you can use resin stick also in nail fungus treatment. And also we have many herbs, example birch, needle, blackcurrant, and dandelion, which are also many health impact. And there are the animal welfare effect also, and I think that animals meet every people all equally, and I think it's very easy to approach animals. I think example dog and horse and like that. I think reindeer, it's not so easy to approach. I think reindeer is shy animal.
Yeah, but if you have a license, you can you can feed them.
Yes, yeah. And you can show emotions of pleasure to animals. And take care of animals can give experience of success and practice also communication skills. And especially with horse, you can to focus on this moment. And I think that is very important nowadays because we are so busy, and it is not easy nowadays to people to focus in this moment because we have so many. We are reacting so quickly. So I think that animals are good also for that. I think that there was the main impact what I like to tell now. And
yes, I have to say, in the last evening I used welfare impacts as call targeting because I have a bit of stress about this webinar because I have to speak English and English is not my national language. So I kind of wanted to low down my stress level, and I go walk with my dogs in the nature, and I picked the place where was hills. So when I go up to hills with my dogs, and I can see various autumn side, I don't know what's in English, ruska, ground was red and brown, and it was beautiful colors in there, and my dog was sitting with me in the rocks and uphill, and then when my stress level came down and I was breathing again, and then I think that was the basically best what I could do in the last evening. Go up with the hill and down with my stress level. So I think I used green hair last night.
it sounds good, Sanna. Yeah.
Okay, I think we had a very good idea what's basically health impact of the nature. What do you think, Leena? What's the time? Should we?
Yes, it is 2:30.
Do you think we should take a break, or do I tell criteria of green care?
I think it's both is okay to me. What do you think? We can continue if you want, or if you want, we can take a little break.
Maybe we can take a little break now because I'm seeing I have quite a many dias, so maybe we can take about a break about 5 minutes.
Yes.
Is it okay?
Yeah, that's okay.
5 minutes break, so then we can continue. You can go out and take a good breath of outside and come back then, or take a cup of coffee and come back, and then we continue about after 5 minutes. Thank you and see you then.
Yeah, thank you.
main criteria. Here it's goal orientation, action, responsibility, nature, professionalism, and community or involvement, you can say. And these 6 are all involving with the green care services and are the main 6 criteria what we use to defining green care. The main building blocks green care is active. Green care activities and services are those nature contacts, meaningful activities, and social interactions. They are called basic elements. I'm telling you some more about these in a few minutes. And all of these services and action in Finland are doing by trained professionals. They have purpose to help customers' need, and all activity are done by responsibility touch. And these 3 responsibility, goal orientation, and professionalism are called by basic preconditions. And also I'm going to tell a bit more about them. But all these 6 are showing you that if we use them wisely and lean back those well-being impact what Leena told, we are going to have well-being with the social, physical, and mental sections. And this is the green care approach, and we can also talk about it green care working methods. But with, or how should I say, if you use these 6 criteria and are bringing well-being for human beings, you should know how to use any methods within green care. Maybe you have some specialized methods what you are using, maybe gardening or something like that, and they have a special education for that. But these 6 is main criteria for green care. And few more things about these preconditions, which I told you. There are professionalism, responsibility, and goal orientation. If I start those professionalism, I can say that competence required by one's profession. So that means, for example, therapeutic service, you need to have therapeutic education if you provide those services. And if you want to teach and use nature well-being, you do have some different professionalism in that. So there's only the service that are allowed by one's own professionalism. Leena is a teacher, and she can do a lot of in social and healthcare services, but I don't have a social and healthcare services education, so I can't do those services. So we do need to have professional skills which services we are doing. And of course, you need to have experience and education that you can provide those services. But if I don't have some experience or education in some field of services, I can do it maybe together with some other actors. Maybe with Leena we can share our skills and do together some services. For example, one service provider may have the required qualification in nursing and another the necessary experience in animal handling. That's one for example. And then I have to say one thing about that green care experience and green care knowledge and professionals. We do have some teachers and university and applied sciences who is providing green care studies. For example, Green Care Pro is 20 credits what you can study green cares. And there's nowadays in 4 applied sciences which are providing those studies. But you also can have a green care expertise if you have done the services or have 5 credits studies somewhere else, university, applied sciences, or some else schools. But that's professionalism. So you need to have education and experience. What are you providing? And you need to know something about human well-being and also nature and animal well-being and the green care basic things. Then you can serve green care services. And then, of course, you have to be responsibility. There's 3 kind of main responsibility what we can say in the green care. There's one is customer responsibility, second is responsibility for nature and animal welfare, and then third is social responsibility. And it must be included in every action what you are doing in your services or works. And responsibility for clients and their safety, you must protect their legal rights and well-being, and you need to guarantee that the legal protection is saved. In addition, the waste management is also very important, and it's going to be in those responsibility for nature and animal welfare things. Environmental responsibility includes ecological aspect, road choice, and constructions. So if you don't have your own expertise of that, you can always ask somebody else's where is the best roads that you don't use nature too much, or where can I build something, cottage, or what do you need in your services. But you always have to remember that nature should remain for our future generations, and so we do need to be very responsibility to our nature. And animal welfare, I think we can talk about a whole evening about that, but that's quite important that we share our works with only those animals who are well-faring, and we care about them, and we are very specific that they don't suffer, because only welfare and well-being animals can provide welfare for our humans. But that's a whole nother issue if we are going to tell much more about the animal assistant methods or animal welfare, but it's very important that we all remember the animal welfare. The social impacts of the action must be examined locally, and the level of society as whole. So our doing doesn't impact only for us or our clients. Its impact is going to be the local and whole countryside, and we have to remember that also when we are doing our services. But then the goal-oriented and preconditions. This is, I think it's foundation of any green care approach, that we use nature-based works, services or actions, that they have purpose or goal-oriented mind of things, because you have to see those all well-being impacts are doing good for your client, and then you need to know what is your clients or customers needs. Well-being effects of nature, as well as all other basic elements and requirements, are targeted to meet the customer's needs. So you need to have target on the customer's needs, and so you need to know what are the customer's needs. Goal-oriented green care services are activities where nature is consciously used to promote well-being. More detailed goals are determined depending on the services and the customer's type in questions. So it's going to depend what services are you providing and what is your customers. So this could be written down by your customers' plans or each individual group's plans, or the plan, and you have to monitorize your doing, and you have to systematically carry out what you are doing and what was the impact for your clients. In the green care, Leena is going to tell you about later what are the differences about nature care and natural empowerment, but there is a few in here. Nature goal-oriented work or services, you have to remember when you are doing nature care work or services that individual goals you have to set those goals in individual. And if you have the empowerment work, what you are doing, it's enough if you do general well-being goals. And all of these preconditions you can find it out Green Care Quality Manual. There's a link in our dias there if you want to go there and see more of these. But if we have time in the end of our webinar, we can show it also you. But not. If you want, you can also go there by yourself. It's in English also, and in Swedish and Finnish. So I think it's very providing you to go and see more. And then some basic elements. It's also about green care criteria, and there are nature or nature-based services and community inclusion and action or experience. So 3 more. And if we start those first one, nature or nature-based, it's including natural environment, animal, outdoors and indoors. Like I think we have said this before, but I'm saying again, the base of the green care services is nature or nature-based doing, and you can be implemented in nature services. It may include nature elements. You can do something with your hands, or if you want to just see those elements or move them in a room. It don't have to be wilderness life if you want to use nature elements. And if, of course, your working colleague could be animal, you can do animal assistant work, or you just can watch animals. It don't have to be doing something with the animals. You can always just watch or be with the animals. And it could be also something you can just view for the nature, or it could be also put it in the city or indoor as plants, or it could be even virtual. You can show slides, dias, pictures, or something. Many things could be done with the nature-based elements. But you have to remember that it should be goal-oriented effects of nature well-being, and it always should support the achievement of individual goals or group goals. So we have to remember here also we do need to know what's the welfare impacts and where we are going to use them, and whose achievement are we going to improve. And then community and inclusion. We are engaging with other people or nature or even animals. Customers and us, all humans, are always part of some group or with other participants or leaders or local actors. Involvement can also be with the animals and nature, because we all are part of the nature. You can't take nature away from us. I think it's very, very important to realize that involvement could be also with animals and nature. And we have an inside need that we do need belong to something and be involved in something. Inclusion is expressed in terms of equality and equal opportunities to live and work in society. So that is also that we have to remember in our green care services, that we are equal and we provide equal opportunities for our clients and of course ourselves. And if you do know something about equalizing and community, you know it also includes experience of accepted. We all need and want to be accepted or be qualified of something. So that's important also in our services, that you know your clients are feeling accepted in a group, in a nature, or with the animal. And then the action part. Green care services do need some action, but it could be also experience. I think experience is nowadays more used criteria terms than action, but I was putting in there also because action could be active or passive, what you are doing in nature. And I just list there, it could be doing, being, watching, listening, feeling, and it doesn't need to be active doing. And you should also remember here which are your clients, what they can do, and these must be tailored to the custom and the operating environment. And if you have animals with the services, you have to really think what you can do and which kind of people is that suitable for do some action with the animals, or is it okay just to be watching or doing something with them together when animals are being part of there. But all these elements and basic requirements, you have to know them so well that you can describe them and all of the reasons why are you using those elements or those requirements. And we have a quality handbook in green care. That's one place you need to describe all those things, what you are using or why are you using them. For example, there is need to be a description of the natural environments or elements that we are using to produce green care services, like animal, garden, forest or something similar. And a description of the constructed environment that we are used to produce our services, like stable, arts and craft room, greenhouse or gardening or etc. Of course, you have to describe of the community elements, what you are used to create involvement, community, stables, community created by employees and the customers, village community or for etc. And activity elements are also that you have to describe in the handbook. They could be, for example, caring for animals, gardening, nature exploration, or stuff like that. These 6 were the basics elements and also preconditions. And there is also one with Taimi Tolvanen and Arja Jääskeläinen, and I think you, Leena, was also involved with that project. These expertise were doing, and they were discussing what the effects element of nature-based rehabilitation are, and they found it out the nature-based experientialism and inclusion did need something more, and they added their individual support. So that's the fourth support here for the client. And the need and content of the personalized support is recorded in the client's rehabilitation or treatment plan. It is then a matter of social healthcare service where nature activities provide added value and support the individual rehabilitation or daily life. And if I'm mentioning something, for example, support of the educational services is mainly general support. And if we are talking about social and healthcare services, they are those individual support when there's needed, but when the educational services, it's mainly general support. It could be also individual, but mainly that's the general support. And that should be always remember that it's support. This goal-oriented support is provided by the professionals, and it's the key element of the rehabilitation. And so it supposed to be also a key element in rehabilitation, which is based on nature-based elements. This kind of support could be, for example, that you are helping clients making choices or decisions, evaluating achievement or goals and changes in daily life. Support could also be an evaluate the impacts of plans, and maybe somebody needs a participant also needs support in learning and practicing new things and practical skills. Support could be also material, for example, the purchases or activities, or influence the practical environment of natural activity such as accessibility. So it could be quite many things where our clients could need individual support, and so that's why it's added fourth of the elements of when you are talking about nature-based rehabilitation. And I think that's quite much criteria if you're talking about those 3 elements and 3 preconditions, and then 1 added element in the nature-based rehabilitation. But then we have also ethical principles. And this is guidelines what we should all be followed. All our green care participants, we all should follow these principles. Either we have services what we are providing, or either we are doing development things or teaching or something. And these ethical guidelines ensure that green care operates in accordance with common values. And these guidelines are accepted, for example, when you are joining Green Care Finland Association. And the members have committed to the association code of ethics, and in return those members can use or they have right to use association's logos, those Green Care Finland's logos. But these principles, I think they are good for all of us. And they are natural relationships and custom and professionalism. So you can see it's not so different than our criteria. It's quite same things. And the natural relationship is basic in green care, and it's included natural and responsibility and respect and protection for animals. And custom, you have the valorizing experience and inclusiveness, understanding and accepting human rights, and confidence. So always you need to know what's your custom, and you really need to be protecting them and respect your customers. And always the professionalism. You can only use those methods that are qualified and safety, and you know how you use those methods. And in green care there is always a thumbs up if you do cooperating between actors or between expertise. So it's quite important also do cooperating between each other. We are quite of a big family, I think, in green care. But what do you think? Is there enough principles and criteria? What do you think, Leena?
Yeah, I think that they are very important, all of these, what you just tell to us, that we need this and we use this, that it is the important and it is the basic things that when you are planning your services and when you are production your services to clients.
Yes. And I think it's important that you know yourself and you write it down. What is the nature what you're using? What is the action what you're doing? What is the profession what you are using? What services can you do? With whom are you doing them? And what's the environment what are you doing? Where are you doing? And so on and so on.
Yes.
So when you write it down and you can see how various your services are and what you can do, and you can show it to your clients or somebody who is buying your services.
Yes, and I think that is very important that you write and you know them when you tell to clients or when you tell to people or organization who buy the services from you, that you need them, that you can say the agreements, and also you need to when you marketing your services, that how you can tell to clients or people who buy this kind of services, that what are your how you can use these principles and these things.
But maybe we can carry on, and maybe you can tell some different levels what is included in green care services and action. What do you think? Yes.
We can say that there are two levels in green care, and they are the nature care and nature empowerment. I think that Sanna said this thing also when you tell this before. And the nature care levels which are applying by Soini, it's from 2011. Their nature care there includes healing of diseases and holistic rehabilitation. And the nature empowerment contains preventing diseases and strengthening health and well-being. Yes, you can. And when you look at the services, you can see what kind of social and healthcare services include in nature care services. There are different kind of, and there you can see that there is the just what Sanna said, that individual support in social and healthcare services. And example, there are services for functional capacity and rehabilitation, and services for employment people, and services for mental health and people who have problems with substance abuse, and residence services, services for the benefit of the child, child protections, and home care services, this kind of things. And I think that this kind of services we need people. It could be physiotherapeutic or nurse or that kind of person who give you the individual support for this service. And then when you look at nature empowerment services, example, the educational services, it is a general support, because many times when you organize this kind of services, there are, of course, it also could be one person, but many times there are groups. So, I mean, example, the early childhood education and school services, and usually they are with groups, and that's why we say that there are general support. And the other services, welfare, example, different kind of refreshing services, or peer or voluntary activities, or nature sports services, or nature tourism services, of this kind of services. And usually they are self-service services. When a person wants to do something for her well-being, and he can or she can buy this kind of services herself or himself. And these things are nature improvement services. Okay, I think that we can go to next slide, and you can see there the practices of the green care. And now you can see there the upside there are nature, animal, garden and farm, and on the left side there are nature improvement and nature care. And now you can see there how they are, how I said, how they are going or setting these things. And I can say some example of these things. I think that we don't need to open every, because we need so much time, and in I think the later we will be tell more later in our webinars. We will be example tell more than animal assisted.
Yes.
Therapy and animal assisted activities and so on. So example, if we look there, animal assisted therapy, I think the best known is riding therapy. Example, what if you have example riding therapy education, you can produce this kind of therapy for your clients. Example in physiotherapy. And this kind of clients who needs this. And example, rehabilitation use of nature. Example, people who have depression or burnout. The therapeutic can use and organize meetings, therapeutic meetings and discussions in nature environment. And the animal assistant pedagogics, I can say the example dogs in school class. I think nowadays we have heard that there are more and more schools who also use dogs, and teachers or special side teachers who use dogs in the school class to give or help concentration in classroom. And I think that we have very good experiences this kind of work. And you can say example garden therapy. It can be used with example young who have mental health or psychiatric mental health problem. Example growing plants and herbs. Example, I know that this kind of therapy used in psychiatric hospital wards. And one more example, I think that goal-oriented animal-assisted activities. Example, what kind of work I do in my free time is it's a volunteering work with dog that you can visit. Example, a kindergarten or elder people house and take a dog with and do that kind of work. And there are goal-oriented farm visit, and you can see there are little children. Example, visits from kindergarten to farm.
Yeah.
And that kind of things. And also this system is developing, and it is now we can look that kind of things include these practices.
Yeah, this is main things, and I think it could be what's coming up is forest and water in there also, but this nature, animal, garden and farm is the basics.
Yes, and the well knowing in nowadays.
Yes.
In this time, yeah. And then I think that Sanna also mentioned something about the quality in her sessions, but green care quality of services, Finland quality label of nature care, and that nature improvement, just what I tell. And the nature care is mostly social and healthcare services, and nature empowerment is the guided direction, education and different welfare services. And if you want to apply this kind of label, you need to do application to Green Care Finland. Mm-hmm. And the quality label guard of Green Care Finland will grant it. And it's valid for 3 years. And there is Sanna can show you now the quality workbook.
I hope could you see this? It's this kind of paper. It's also in internet, so you can load it down in your own website and computer, and then you can manage to describe what you are doing and fill it up in there and save it on your own computer and send then it to Green Care Finland quality team.
And they ask different kind of things, and there are different parts what you need to fill it, and you can look. And when you apply this quality label, you need also the document of security and plan of the self-control, and these documents. So I mean quality workbook, document of security, and plan of self-control. Mm-hmm. And also the expertise, I mean that what skill are needed. So just Sanna before said that you need competency of green care, and the minimum at least you need 5 credits, and also expertise requiring by the services. And there are also the link, the brochure in English, that you can we have this is in Finnish, but there is the link where you can see the brochure also in English.
Yes, and of course this quality manual is also in Finnish, English and Swedish, so you can fill it up in your own language.
So I think that was shortly the quality of green care quality of services.
Yes.
The main things.
Yes, and I think the quality label you have all seen, I hope at least, but they are here. These two is in Green Care Finland quality labels, what you can have if you are quarantined in service production. And there.
Okay, I think that
yes,
it was enough about that. And then more information. If you need more information, you can here are the contact details in the different area and different partners and project manager. There are I am working here, Lapland. I'm a project manager. There's my email address and phone numbers, and also the Satu Välijärvi is working at another osteoporonia in Uleåborg, and here are also Satu contact details. And Martta Ylilauri is coming from University of Vaasa. Central Ostrobothnia, and you can take contact also to Marta. And in Sweden, the Västerbotten and Norrbotten, there are project manager Päivi Juuso working in Luleå University, and there are also contact details to Päivi. So if you like to ask something or take contact, please send message or take a phone and we can discuss and tell more.
And of course you can find more information about our project. We have a Facebook group, and I hope you all join now in there, and it's called New Nordic Nature-Based Service Models. We use Nordic NaBS, but our Facebook group is the whole name. But there we are telling you what our future event is and what we are doing and what other people are doing, and there you also can find the webinar links and how can you inform it with the Norway trip or stuff like that. So please come and join our Facebook group. And also we are coming soon is our internet site. It's going to be the nordicnabs.org, but it's not ready yet, but it's coming soon, I hope. I'm building it up right now. And we are producing also newsletter, which we are sending via email. And if you want that newsletter for you, you can send email for Karin. There's Karin Sjöberg's email address, so that's okay that if you want to order it, just send email to Karin. Newsletter ain't so large, but it's the main things what we are doing in our project and what's going to be in green care field. So that's quite a simple thing to have basics information what we are doing, what we have done. We also write it down, those things. And of course, I hope you are interested in what the future will bring for you, what our events are. This was the first seminar what we are doing in web, and we are calling this webinars. And of course, there will be more. And second webinar is farm assistant living webinar, and it's going to be Marta Ylilauri who is going to tell you something about farm assisted doing in green care. And the third webinar will be natural well-being effects. Leena told you something about those impacts and effects today, but there will be more. Päivi Juuso and Åsa Enberg Ekström will tell you something about those more. And of course we have workshops, and next workshops will be in Kuusamo. It's about service design, how you can design your services in green care, and Satu Välijärvi is in their professional of that field. And then we have a network meeting in Kokkola. There's before the green care days in Kokkola, so you should be there whole 3 days in Kokkola and coming to our network meeting and then participation in green care days. There are quite good lectures and visiting time there. And in October, Leena told we are going to Norway, Mo i Rana. There's a free place, or you can just inform yourselves and come with us. We're going by bus, so it's quite a long journey, but please come and join us in Norway. And of course there's going to be more webinars in Dutch Action and Service Design in October. And then, like Leena told, project timetable included those pilots. So we have first pilot design workshops in Rovaniemi in November, and you can join us also there. But do we have some time if I show you? What do you think, Leena?
Yes, we have about it is 22 minutes. 22 over 3. Yes, we have.
Okay.
Yeah, yes, we have time.
And we don't have any questions, Matti? No. So maybe I can show you those where you can find more information. Here you can see I'm now in our Facebook group site. You can see it's new Nordic NaBS service models, the name of our group, and here you can see what have we done and what have we write, and we hope you write it here also. It's going to not need to be our conversation, but we hope that you write it down also. But here's our calendar, what we are going to do. You can see it's write it down what April we have done, and May, June, July, and so on. And here's what we are going to, what is going to come, those events. And we are bringing it up, dating this up when it's coming something new.
And also, Sanna, there is coming to Facebook discussion group also. Yes, but we don't yet decided the date when they are start.
Yes, yeah. But it's going to be also in here Facebook, so you can find it here, and these discussion groups will be in here also. So we are going to use quite a lot the Facebooks or another social media.
Yeah.
And all our events you can find here, and the links and where you find more information and stuff like that, it's in here. And we have also workshops in Sweden, and these webinars is for all of you in the whole wide world. And in more information, not our project, but whole green care and green care criteria is here in net site on Green Care Finland. There is in Finnish, English and Swedish sites, and here in English site you can find Green Care coordination projects, which is our national project, and quality manual, what we have shown you in the webinar, and the ethics of Green Care code, and here is the label brochure which Leena was telling you about. And here's a lot of good things what you can find it out. And here you can also find people's quality, association things, and also very good material. Here's quite a lot of books and other stuff that you can use. Quite of many of them is in Finnish, I'm sorry, but some of them is also in English or Swedish. I have here, if Matti you can show one quite new book which Martta Ylilauri and Anja Yliviikari have produced us. Here is a few of those articles are in English also, and here's quite a new things and knowing about green care, so I think this is good for you to read.
Yeah.
It's quite a large book, but you can have many evenings with it.
Many interesting articles, yeah.
And if you want to read something Swedish and Finnish, here's a few books which I told was Arja Jääskeräinen, Tero Leppänen and Taimi Tolvanen have been written down, and few of these are also in Swedish.
Yes, they
was
are.
It correct?
Yeah.
Yes. So then you can read it down also, and you can find it in their internet. These books also. So it's quite much material and stuff you can study more, and of course you can go and study with the applied sciences also green care. There was 20 criteria for green care pro studies what you can do, and then you can come in our project webinars and workshops and study more and come and cooperating with us. But I think you have now basic things what is green care and what is criteria of it. What do you think, Leena?
Yes, I think so, that it was very how I say it, good session and good webinar where we put put shortly these things, criteria and basics. And now you have, I think that you need the time to processing this kind of things in your own mind, and what are your own opinion and what you are thinking about these things. And I think that this is the basic things what are very useful when if you are planning your own services, or if this is the first time when you hear green care and the basic of green care and this kind of things. I hope that you get something inspiring of our webinar today.
Yes, thank you that you were with us, and maybe we see you soon.
Thank you and have a nice day. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.